Hi everyone, and welcome to the August edition of DroneBlocks Up in the Air. I'm your host Clinton Evans, and we've got an awesome episode for you this month. Now, August is over and back to school is in full swing, so let's not waste any time. Here's what we have lined up for you today. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the AVR competition. Then we're going to look at the DEXI Dev with Dennis. Then we're going to look at a really cool go-to course that's just dropped. Then we're going to give you the solution from last month simulator challenge, and then I'm going to end off with a really big announcement. So that's a lot to get into, so let's dive on in. Now, registration for the national AVR competitions are now open. Now, that is the Advanced Vertical Robotics Competition. There's a lot to read on our blog post. Check it out, it won't take more than 3 minutes. In summary, it is a high-level, multi-model, aerial and ground robotics competition that integrates real-world engineering challenges, emerging technology, and extensive team engagement with multidisciplinary learnings to help high school students acquire vital skills for the future. You can totally tell I didn't read that. So that is such a cool thing. Read this for yourself. If you watch through the video, have a look at some of the drones there, and you'll notice the little DroneBlocks sticker a couple of times, like here, and here. And this, your DroneBlocks is sponsoring the competition by offering the DEXI drone and the kit to the fleet of robotics that students are going to build and manage to complete the challenges. That is so cool. In fact, now if your school has been looking for an opportunity to purchase a DEXI kit, the AVR competition fee includes DEXI at a discounted price built into the registration fee. That is so cool. It looks like it's going to be such an amazing competition for students and teams out there to really grow and develop their skills. And speaking of develop, have you seen the DEXI Dev series by Dennis on YouTube? It is such a cool series. Dennis has been doing some real-time testing and development on the DEXI in a series of YouTube videos. This one, for example, we get to see the DEXI using 2 cameras at the same time. That's right, multi-camera support. It is such an interesting video. Dennis will show you some of the source code from Git. Dennis will make the change, he'll activate the second camera, and then what you'll do is you'll actually see in real time how Dennis waves his hand over one and then looks up at the other, so 2 cameras are running at the same time. You also get to see the web interface and how you can look at the topics, which makes sense if you're familiar with ROS at all. And it is a great series. It doesn't just cover that. There are some other videos out there. For example, Dennis is testing the markers where DEXI will fly over a marker on the ground and you will read the data, and you can see the data in real time as DEXI is flying over the marker. I highly recommend that you just follow along with Dennis. You'll see some really cool things come to life. And speaking of life, or real life, we have a new go-to course that has dropped. It is such a cool course. If you've done the go-to sensing and navigation course in the simulation, you now have the opportunity to take that onto a real go-to. That's right, you can run the DroneBlocks web dashboard on your go-to, you can connect to it, and you can access the LiDAR data in real time. You'll also learn how to capture data in ROS, such as the LiDAR data, and you can, once you've captured the data, you can play it back. There's so many learning opportunities. So if you've got a go-to dog, challenge yourself by diving into this course. And speaking of challenge, how did you get on with the last part of last month's challenge, where you're setting the speed for the drone and you're flying in seconds? How did you go working out the actual distance based on that equation? Well, there's a very cool shortcut I can show you. So here's a quick mission. I've got takeoff, set speeds 25 centimeters a second. I fly forward 5 seconds. Now, using mathematics, all we need to apply is 5 multiplied by 25. So that should fly 125 centimeters. Now, rather than get your measurement tool out and try and work out the distance, you could do this with a crazy fly in real life in a tape measure. But in the simulation, another advantage of the simulation is if we just click launch simulation, look up at this area over here with the X coordinates. We started at 0. Now, if we travel forward, which is X, we'll see that that X should get to 125 and then the drone should stop. And look at that, 125 does the math for us. But there's one other thing that might catch you out. If you increase the speed, you do get a tiny little bit of inertia, which means 5 times 75 isn't going to be 375. It may be 376. So we launch the simulation, and there it is, 376. The gist is still there. You can use that X value to work out the distance, which is so Cool. Nah, and speaking of cool, we have an awesome announcement to make. Nah, because STEM is always changing and always growing, sometimes getting your information through a show like this once a month just isn't enough. So we have decided to move up in the air to YouTube Shorts. That's right, once a week you'll get a short clip covering each section, whether it's something cool in tech, an educator spotlight, a random challenge of code to you. That's going to be the new format of the show, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss a short. And that takes us to the end of this episode. If you saw anything you liked or learned something new, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the DroneBlocks YouTube channel so you never miss an episode and you never miss an upcoming short. So until I see you there, keep your drones in the air, your students engaged, and have fun.